Hello folks, this is a continuation video of the my Dean Goods loco kit, which I've finally painted, as you can see. It's been varnished with, well, initially with Ammo Mig Hard Rock Gloss Varnish, which had a couple of coats ready for the transfers to go on. Fox transfers I used. And then once they were on, I gave it another coat of the Hard Rock Gloss Varnish, and then followed up the next day after 24 hours with some Ammo Mig Lucky Satin Varnish, just to tone things down a bit. It was a bit too glossy for me. So that's the final finished livery coat. I've still got a lot of details to apply, as you can see. They're all here: back head, safety valve, cab details. I've got a lovely set of I don't know where I got these from, either eBay or somewhere, but some nice brass number plates, and the loco will be, as you can see, 2450. It's all been done, ready to go. This loco Dean Good didn't have a rootability colour disc on it at all. At least I can't find pictures of it, so I haven't put that on. But the cab numbers will be going there at some stage when I finally finished. I didn't realise that, or I didn't remember rather, that I actually finished making the kit way back in 2019, in the summer of 2019, in fact, which was just before the beginnings of the pandemic. I can remember I had two sick dogs at the time, both of which I sadly had to be put down. So it was a bit of a rough time, 2019, and the loco was put to one side. As you know, I've had several attempts in the last couple of years to paint it, and I tried new techniques and ended up having to strip certainly the loco body down at least 3 times. So it's been a bit of a long session, a long period before it's finished. The chassis I finished ages back, and that's been no problem. And I didn't realise that until I actually found my. I'm just undoing the wrapper. It never works, does it, when you want to? I found my my sound decoder. This is a Zemo MX645R. I don't think this one actually is available now from YouTube. I think they've upgraded them, and I bought this in 2020. And I didn't do much with it because in January 2021 I caught COVID, so that put the mockers on that. However, that is the decoder, yeah, and the date of which my certificate is 2020. Very nice. As you lot probably know, there is a preserved Dean Goods in a museum somewhere. I can't remember which museum it is. I'm not sure whether it's York or not. I don't think it's ever been steamed. So there's no sound files available for an actual Dean Goods. So I went through YouTube sound files on their website and decided to go with the sound quality and the rather than get too hung up on an 060. So I actually chose the sound files from a GW 5666 XX 062. So it actually is recorded of a GWR loco, but it isn't the one pertaining to an 060. But nobody will know that once it's going. But I thought the powerful sound, the chuffing sound, and all the parts that went with it were pretty good. So I've settled with that. Anyway, I think the last video I did, I was going to debate last night on how I was going to fit this decoder, which is pre-wired, has a low grade capacitor, um, and it's already wired up for a small 1.5 watt speaker, because there isn't a lot of space in the loco or the chassis to put everything in this end. I don't think there's just enough space. I was going to put the decoder by the next stick it on the side of the motor, but the motor tucks into the firebox, and there isn't a lot of room either side really, and I thought it would make it difficult to get the body on and cause loads of problems. So I think I mentioned on the last video that I was going to track down a 6-pin male and female connector, micro connector, to go between loco and tender chassis, and I managed to find one on believe it or not, Amazon yesterday afternoon. I had to buy 10, but for £6.50 that weren't bad going really. So I'm going to place the speaker into the chassis of the loco, and I'm going to put the sound decoder, I'm going to tuck it in between the frames of the tender, and that will mean I've got to have 6 wires going from the loco chassis to the decoder in the tender chassis. So it would be 2 leads for the motor, 2 leads for the pickups, and 2 leads for the speaker. So that's 6 in all, hence the 6-pin connector. I think that's the simplest way of doing it. It means it's going to have to be permanently coupled, I suppose, really, but I think that's a small price to pay for simplicity and tidiness, really. So that's the plan. The 6-pin micro connectors will be arriving today via Amazon on a Sunday, which is cool, I thought, since I only ordered them yesterday. So hopefully in the coming week this whole project not only will be assembled, obviously got buffers on and what have you, it will be fired up with sound. So that is the project. I like Zemo decoders. They are the best on the market, always have been, always will be. Their controllability, motor controllability, is top notch, and their sound quality is also top notch. You can't beat them. I've tried others, and they've let me down and failed and blown and done all kinds of things really. This one actually, because of its size, is actually for 4mm 00 models, but you know, the sound output on these are up to 3 watts, so it's quite potent really. And I can't remember what this one is, but because the motors I use, Mashima, are really efficient motors, the power output wattage is very, very low. I mean, running around the track it only pulls less than half an amp, and if I stall the loco, it normally only really goes up to about 1 amp really. So, and the decoder is rated at, I think, at 1.5 or 2 amps. So there's plenty of safety in these Zemo decoders. So quite happy. Most of my, in fact all of my O gauge kit built, well, and ready to run locos, I use Zemo decoders. They're really good. I'm just checking that I'm not talking rubbish really. I can't actually find where it says it, to be honest. Usually says it on the ticket, but not on this one. Must be too old. I say it's got a stay alive capacitor, already pre-wired into it, but it's fairly low powered really, so it's sort of a nanosecond in length of workage, but it doesn't matter really. So that is the plan for the next coming few days. I'm going to make a few little platforms. I'm going to try and do the soldering away from the chassis and just fit it already pre-soldered, which means I'm going to have to cut some of these wires, which is no great problem really. It's fairly easy to do. As long as you don't get the colours mixed up, you won't blow your decoder. I'm just faffing around on this just to see what length of wires I've got left. Gosh, I'm getting too old to fiddle with these. Anyway, I've got some equal small gauge, I think it's 14 gauge packs of wire to, if I should need them, but I'm hoping to be able to utilize most of the wiring on here really. So with that being tucked into there, all I've got to do is make a solder pad underneath that end to solder these ends to, and another solder pad there. Shush, Kira. Okay, so that is the plan for this weekend, and away we go.